Hi there, welcome back. So in this beautiful video, I thought we'd bring back the concept that is so important. Only take what resonates with you from all of these videos, from anything that you listen to or watch on these videos or in my courses or anything that we talk about with my beautiful spirit team that we bring forward. A lot of times I'm guided to bring information through, and I know it's for a specific person out there. I know that they're trying to reach one particular person with that message. So if it could be a message, for example, when I was talking about our children, do your children know that you love them? That's not going to be for everybody because not everyone has children. Some people have a partner, some people don't even have a partner. So you can still use the message because, okay, maybe you don't have your children, but you have important beings in your life that may need to know, that don't know that you love them or don't love them. And they're special to you. And if these people mean something to you, if they're special to you, then perhaps you need to tell them. You need to make sure. Because sometimes what we think is an expression of love is not understood by the other person. And I say this from first-hand experience. That even though my mum showed me in a million different ways that she loved me and my sister when we were growing up, I grew up believing, not just thinking, but believing that my mother didn't love me. Until I was 40, until after the birth of my daughter. When I had my daughter and I realized the amount of time that a baby takes, it's really time consuming when a baby is born, that first year. It was in that year that I began to really see that what she had done for my sister, she had already done for me, and probably more so because I was the first. With the first baby, you're always more careful, more, there's more because it's the first one. So, I know as a parent, if I would have had a second one, I would have been so much more relaxed because, oh, okay, I've already done it and there it is. It's still alive. So I must have done something right, So you are more relaxed with the second one. It's not so much like the first one that if you could bubble wrap it all day long so it doesn't get hurt or, nothing happens to it, you would. So, these are the things that when you're listening to the videos or listening to any information that comes through, you need to feel within yourself what resonates. And that, I love that beautiful word, resonates. Because you feel within yourself, does this feel like it's for me? Does it feel right for me? Like this message is for me. I'm listening. I know straight away when I'm listening to something if this message is for me. Sometimes if it's like really, really for me on a spiritual level, I'll get tingles all over. I get tingles on the back of my head and I get tingles all down my spine, depending on the message. But many times there's just a knowing, oh, I was meant to hear that. I was meant to receive that information today. It's part of my path. You can feel it within yourself, Whereas if it's not for you, you'll just dismiss it like, that's not for me. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't resonate. No. It's like music. You notice with music, some people don't like music at all. But let's say for me, I don't like jazz. I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm not a big country music either. Just doesn't do it for me. I love classical and I love pretty much every other kind of music. But those two, I don't know why they rub me the wrong way. That's me. I just don't like how they sound. They don't feel right to me, And yet, I have friends that love country music. And I'm like, okay, but that's for you. So we don't all like the same thing. Because we're not all here on the same path, So it's like me with dancing. I can't listen to music that makes you want to dance and just sit there still and not move something, even though I'm tapping my foot. You know, usually I'll get up and wiggle. I need to move my body, right? When I hear music, I want to move to it. I don't care how it looks. From little, I was always like that. I'd hear music and I would start moving to it. And yet my daughter will listen to music and she's like, nothing moves, you know? And I'm like, how do you sit there and not tap your foot even? It's like, you know, there's like no music in you. So we're all different, you know, we're all here to have different experiences. That's the truth of it. And we've already had different experiences up until now, you know. So many people grow up and their parents get divorced. Mine didn't, you know, so how can I have that experience? My parents never separated. They're still together today. So of course how I feel is going to be different, you know, about parents together or not together, you know. And again, some parents stay together, but they're always fighting, you know, so you grow up with that. So your path is going to be different because you've already had different experiences. So whatever I share that's resonated with me over the years, or whatever they're trying to bring through, sometimes it's not for me and I can feel it's not, but I know it's going out there for someone. I know. And so many times I've done videos now, it's just been so funny. And I will get a response from someone that I least expected was for them. And they're like, oh my God, that resonated with me so much. And I was like, really? I never would have thought that, you know, for you. I thought it was going out for someone else. And sometimes I'm responding to a comment or an email and it definitely goes out to someone completely different because I get a response from them. Like, oh my God, it was like you were talking to me. And I'm like, well, I know they were talking to someone. They gave me this information to give to someone. So if you're listening to the videos, it's all right if it doesn't resonate. It's okay, you know. Different people will express things in different ways. And that's another reason that I'm here. I've understood this very clearly. Over the years, you know, I've read many self-help books. I mean, I started like 30 years ago, if not before. I'm trying to think when I started in my 20s. I started with the Louise Hay's books. I started with the Conversations with God books. All of those were just around at the time. But over the years, you know, the Oprah, you know, does this, the famous people, you know, that she tries to bring the books out for. There's been a few that she's mentioned. I'm not going to bring it up in this video again. I've done it before, but there's no need to name names because there's been a few that she's mentioned that their books have been so amazing and I've gone out to buy them, you know, and even at the time in my 20s, my cousin and I, we were so close. We used to read the same books, you know, and we'd compare all the time. We're always talking about, oh yeah, you know, this is, you know, we'd be comparing all the time how it made us feel or what thoughts were coming up. We were always bouncing off each other. And I remember at the time, there was this particular one and we both started the book, my cousin and I, and we got to, I don't know if I could get to the end of the first page, not the first chapter, the first page. And I remember talking to my cousin that day and I said to her, how far have you got? And she said 1 paragraph. And I said, oh, good. I thought there was something wrong with me because I couldn't get past the first page. And I said to her, I feel like I've just walked into something else here. Like, it just made no sense to me. The words were so big and so complicated. And I found to get through that 1 page, I was constantly having to look up words. Like, what does this word mean? And what does that word mean? And even the way they spoke was so different, you know, that when you were watching them on Oprah, the way they spoke. And so I said to my cousin, I said, oh, well, you know, I can't be bothered. It's too much work for me, right? This. So I realized that there are so many of us, you know, and the message may be a similar message or even the same message, but we're saying it differently. We're expressing it in different ways. You know, I got through the Eckhart Tolle book, The Power of Now, once. And for me, that was enough. And even that for me was hard work. It wasn't an easy venture to get through it completely. Some parts I had to like reread them before I could get to the next page, you know, because of the wording. I just didn't find the wording for me was simple enough. For me, you know, and then we change as we go, you know, because I'd loved Rhonda Byrne's books. I loved The Secret. I read The Secret. And then I started collecting all of her books after that. The Magic was one of my favorite ones because it's all about gratitude. And they come with, what's it called? Exercises for you to implement what she's, bringing through. And I was reading The Magic when I was pregnant with my daughter, and there was a glow about me because every morning I would wake up and the first thing you had to do that morning was write a list of 10 things that you are grateful for. And so every morning I would wake up, and my game, it became a game in the end, was that I had to think of 10 different things that I hadn't thought of the day before. I couldn't repeat them. This was my game. I don't remember if it was part of what she was asking for or if it was just what I got out of it. But for the first 30 days that I did the magic, the gratitude thing, I was every day 10 different things. I even got to the point where I was giving gratitude to the garbage collectors for coming and collecting the garbage and keeping our streets clean. And, it went that far. So my gratitude, it was really, really lovely. But I felt a shift within me when I was doing that book. And yet, when I got to the last of her books, which I'm trying to remember what it's called now. Oh, it's in the back of my car. When I read it at the time, and this was about 3 years ago now. Oh, what was it called? Not The Power. There's The Magic, The Power. I've read all of them. Anyway, I got to that one. When I read it at the time, I thought, oh, this is the goal. This is the goal. The ultimate peace is knowing who we are. That's it. That's it. This is what we're all aiming for. Peace. This bliss. I thought that's what life was when I read that book. And I thought, oh, I want that. I want that. This is what my goal. And then when I got to these last two books, You Can Change Your Past, I Am Light, I Am Dark. And the last one now, Be the Rainbow, that's waiting to go to the publisher. Be the Rainbow, I think, was the one that shifted it the most. No, we're not all here to be that. Suddenly, it didn't resonate with me. I thought maybe that was her path. Rhonda Byrne, that's what she came for. She came to feel that bliss, to feel that peace. And to be honest, when I listen, I can read her books, but I can't listen to her. There's something about her voice, the way she speaks, that it just rubs me the wrong way. I can't explain it, but there's just something that doesn't feel authentic, genuine to me when I listen to her. It feels forced. But that's just me. But when I got to the end, I thought, oh, maybe that's her path and that's fine for her. That's what she wants to bring to the world because that was her path. But I realized that's not everyone's path when that's what we come from. Why would we come from there to be that? That's what we are in an infinite state. This bliss, this peace, this oneness with spirit. This is what we are for all eternity. And in these last beautiful books that have come through, the question is, why would we come here to be that when that is what we are in an eternal, infinite state? And it was from there that it became so clear to me that this is why we have these human experiences that we have, that we judge that they were so bad, that it was so wrong, how it made us feel, what we had to go through in our childhood. That's why. All of a sudden, through those beautiful books and the latest one, it became so clear to me that we come here to experience all that. We come here to experience all the things that we are not. And love is one of them. What is it to not be love? What is it? The soul is curious. It wants to know, what does it feel like when we are not love? Because this is who we are. What does it feel like to not be at peace? Again, this is who we are. What does it feel like to not be joyful, to not be happy? Again, this is who we are. This is what we are. This energy of love and joy and peace is what we are. It's what we're made of. So recently I pulled out that book, that last one of Rhonda Byrne's, to read it again. And I got through the first chapter and I thought, I get it now. I'm here to bring through a different message. Not the same. There are so many people already pointing to that that's what we're here for peace, for joy, for love, for this state. But that's who you are. What would be the point? Anyway, for me, that's my journey. What is the point of coming here to be all that? It's who we already are. So, my beautiful beings, again, as you listen to this, if this doesn't resonate with you and in your heart, you're like, no, she's wrong. We're here to feel peace every minute of every day for the rest of our lives. This is what I want. Yes, you can aspire to that. It is nice to be at peace. It is nice to not be afraid. It's nice. But you also have to think, well, why is the fear there? Why is the anger there? If we're not meant to feel any of that, if we just came here to be what we are, the joy, the peace, the love, why are we given all these other things? What's the point? What's the point of anger if we're not meant to ever get angry or feel anger? What's the point of sadness if we're never meant to feel sad? Why have we been given these things? So, my beautiful beings, that's how my mind works. That's how my mind ticks. It's always looking at the why. Why? Why is it there? If I'm not meant to use it, if I'm not meant to have it, if I'm not meant to, why? And perhaps this video today can shift you into a different mindset. Because once you understand that we've been given all these beautiful things and they're there for us, there's less judgment that fear is bad, that anger is bad, that the pain is wrong or bad. There's no judgment. It's like, oh, I'm meant to feel all that. That's what I came for. So let's do it. Let's just feel it because that's why it's there. When I get angry, yes. Oh, just feel that anger completely without judging it. Have you ever done that? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever allowed yourself to just let rip? Just be angry. And don't hold back. Have you ever allowed yourself to do that? What does that feel like? Because if you allowed yourself to let it out in that moment, to just say what you needed to say, or scream it, or yell it, or however it comes out, it's done. Instead, we bottle it up. And so I know from, I remember in my first relationship, because we weren't allowed to express anger and we weren't allowed to say all these things, we'd bottle it up. And it would be years later that we would have an argument and I would be bringing up all this stuff from 3, 4, 5 years ago. Because it's been in there the whole time. I wasn't allowed to say it. I wasn't allowed to be angry. But if in the moment that you're angry, you just say it, let it out, it's done. It's done with. You've said it. You've given the other person an opportunity to know, okay, you're upset with me. Now I know why, rather than you just giving me the, bombastic side eye like my daughter says. You're giving me the glare. I can feel in your energy there's something wrong. You're upset with me, but you're not telling me what I've done, so I can't do anything to change it, to correct it, to fix it. even apologize. I can't even apologize because I don't know what I've done. You haven't told me. How can I know? I don't know how to read minds. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all read minds? Can you imagine? It would save so many conversations. All right, my beautiful beings. So, take what resonates because it's part of your path. You'll know it feels right. It feels like it's for you. It feels like yes, this knowing. All right, my beautiful beings. I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages, and share the beautiful videos. Share them. This message might be exactly what somebody needs today for their journey. All right, my beautiful beings. Bye for now.